If you love beginner-friendly wildlife quilts, I have the perfect quilt for you today. Brand new here at Shabby Fabrics, based on a motif fabric collection called Northwoods Lodge. This is just a beautiful collection, the woodland animals. I love the colors. Very Pacific Northwest. We're here in Idaho. So when I saw the collection, I said, let's make this so beginner friendly. You're like, well, wait, I see a lot of things going on. Let me unpack that. And then at the end of this overview, I'll give you just a quick step through of how easy it is to make these flying geese units. And they're actually in two sizes in this quilt. One size here bracketing our panel, and then I did this in two opposite corners in the outer border. Just couldn't get enough geese. That's a very real part of Idaho as well. So the three particular rulers that are going to be very important to you, and two of them are actually rulers and one's a tool, is the Ultimate Flying Geese tool that's going to help us out big time making 4 flying geese units with absolute precision and minimum waste. We'll do that in one size here, different size for the outer border. We just took our panel with our 6.5-inch creative grid. We fussy cut that so you're extracting out these perfect animals here that'll just set right into your block. And then also as part of that panel, there were some pine cones. We've set them into the 4 corners of the quilt. We used our 4.5-inch where we just cut that all the way around, and all 3 of those incredible tools and rulers work very well with a spinning mat. As you can see, I couldn't resist having a coordinated standard pillowcase. Be sure to grab that as well. We're offering this on what's called a reserve. So what that means, you simply make a $10 deposit toward your kit. Look at this backing. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's not the perfect backing. A $5 deposit toward your backing, and you're also able to make a small deposit toward your pillowcase kits. We already cannot add to the amount of kits that we bought for. That is true of the kit, the backing, as well as the pillowcase. So if this one speaks to you, be sure right at the end of this to head to the Shabby site to reserve your kit, your backing, and your pillowcase. We, of course, need patchwork type notions, of course, patchwork pins, fresh blade and the rotary cutter, very important for fussy cutting, of course. We ended up using the Carrera thread set, and I think we just chose a gray. Any light gray would work, of course, but the 3 most important tools I mentioned, the 4.5-inch creative grid, the 6.5-inch creative grid ruler, the Ultimate Flying Geese, and I also happen to love the 9-inch seam guide. And in fact, I'll go ahead, I'm going to clear the table just a bit. I'll give you a quick refresher on how the Ultimate Flying Geese tool works. You're going to want to add that one in. That is such an amazing tool. I'll give you a quick refresher. I have filmed a longer tutorial on that if you want to check out that longer tutorial. But let me clean up here just a bit, and I'll give you that refresher on how to use that tool, and then you can head right to the website to pick up your kit, your backing, and of course your pillowcase kit as well. So one of the reasons this quilt can go together so quickly is because of the speed of the Ultimate Flying Geese tool. Traditionally, if we're making flying geese units, we're making 1 at a time, and their accuracy is, for me, somewhat hit and miss. But with this tool, we get to make 4 at a time. That means this entire block comes together in one fell swoop. There's 2 sizes of Ultimate Flying Geese in this particular Northwoods quilt. For our particular project, we'll be using letter D that finishes at 2x4. Those are the ones used in the outer border. And also letter F, 3x6. Those are the ones that are going to be framing our beautiful fussy cut block that we've already fussy cut and are sitting and waiting for us to add our flying geese units. Why don't we just go ahead and look at our smaller ones that are 2x4. Notice as we come across, it says cut 1, 5 3/4. As we can see, the 5 3/4, we look straight up, right? It says cut 1 of those. So I grab that out. That's always going to be the fabric as we look at this here. That's going to be that main delta, that main beautiful V. As we continue to look across, it says 3 1/4. Now look straight up. Notice it says cut 4 of those. Oh, okay. Let me grab 4 of those. So this is what it looks like in the beginning. We have our 1, 5 3/4, and our 4, 3 1/4. The rest of the instructions are inside that, but I'm just going to talk you through that. You'll never really need those instructions because I'm here to guide you through that. Remember that we're the letter D. That doesn't mean anything to you yet, but it will soon. On the back of your 4 fabrics, you can either draw a line diagonal to diagonal, or our preference is to draw that line using the seam guide. I'm way more accurate sewing on a drawn line than I ever have been tracking a 1/4 inch away from a line. So we simply draw this on all 4 of these. Once we have that put together, we place these onto our fabric, right side together. We'll have our beautiful large fabric here, these on the opposite sides. We pin in place. Bonus, at Shabby Fabrics, this overlap, we trim that. We don't want extra fabric inside when we're trying to get precise points. This overlap isn't going to be doing anything for us. So in addition to pinning here, we have cut that, and we simply, once we're pinned, we just get underneath and cut that, making sure we're not cutting the piece behind. Once we've done this, we simply unpin. We've sewn on a regular standard stitch length with any straight edge. We cut diagonal to diagonal, and now we're going to be pressing away. Once we've pressed away, remembering that we've only used 2 out of our 4 squares, we will put a 1/3 in the corners, pin, once again, we sew. I cut. Press away, press away. We have an oversized unit. Now, remember how we were letter D. What is that all about? Why is that important? We will now use the second part of this tool. We have a trim 1 function, and 180 degrees opposite, we have a trim 2 function. Let's make sure we're starting with trim 1. A, B, C, D. D is S. What this now means is we will set our ruler down, our tool, and notice our dashed line of our letter D that's perfectly inside that beautiful triangle, exposing the right side and the top. This may be why we have 2 trim functions, because I can only trim half the block now. That is true, because the left side and the bottom are covered with the acrylic. So what we'll do is we will cut. This is why this works so incredibly well with a spinning mat. I will continue to rotate this, sliding this down A, B, C, D. Look at this right there. How now I have this line, and right in the V. Look at this. Put that in the perfect spot right there. Cut. You need just a little bit of room here. I think I moved my tool just a touch. I'll readjust that. And cut. You have perfect flying geese units every single time. So between fussy cutting for the center, right? And this happens to be one for the outer border. So we're not going to be marrying that up with this block. But this is when you fussy cut the center with a 6.5 and you're using this tool, these marry perfectly. Let's just look at the other one that we are using in conjunction with our panel. Same thing. We go back to our tool. Let's just revisit that. Let's practice and put in practice what we've learned. Okay, we want 3 by 6 inch finished. Yep, because that makes sense. Remember how we fussy cut that to 6.5. Notice these are finished sizes. If the finished size is 3 by 6, the unfinished size is, and I can hear you out there saying 3.5 by 6.5, makes sense. We need to have a flying geese unit that's 6.5. This is 6.5 unfinished. We marry them together. But how did we get there? All right, for the 3x6, we came over, we cut our bigger square to 7 3/4. We cut 4 of the smaller to 4 1/4. Same step, same action, right? Same thing, draw your lines, opposite, opposite, pin, pin, cut that overlap, sew, trim. Same thing that I did, except now, let me take you all the way there. Let's just take it all the way so you can see that amazing trim up function one more time. It's absolutely incredible. Try to get my block more centered. So this time we're letter F. Cozy right up into that spot. Notice it's exposing the right side and the top. That dashed line is my 1/4 inch. Trim, trim. Continue to rotate. Push that back up so you can see it and my head's out of the way. Because I want you to see how I'm looking for this, this, and this. Putting me in the perfect position so that now I have my flying geese unit. And we can do a measurement check. Let's just do this. I want you to see this isn't just approximate, it's absolutely dead on, right? That might be easier for you to see here, right? So let me go to my, I'm just going to pick a line right there. Absolutely on the mark. So you can see the Ultimate Flying Geese tool is absolutely the MVP. We all need rulers, absolutely need those in our sewing room, but I sometimes am somewhat reluctant to buy a tool if I think I'm only going to use it once. I'm going to tell you, I don't make flying geese units any other way. So obviously, in this particular project, it's an absolute need. There's so many flying geese units, but you will use this so many times. So glad I had a chance to just give you a quick refresher course. And as a reminder, if you want to see that longer version, you can always check that out on YouTube as well. So as you can see, this quilt kind of has it all for me, where you get to see just these amazing animals. The colors are just so woodland and so cozy, right? But then we get to also enjoy a different size flying geese in the outer border. We always have you in mind when we're choosing that perfect backing, and you can see how it coordinates so perfectly with the pillowcase kit. This is an easy yes. So head to the Shabby site to make your deposit. Again, this is a reserve, just a $10 deposit, and that goes toward the cost of your kit, a $5 deposit toward the cost of your backing, and be sure to reserve as many pillowcases as you need and grab any notions as well.